Hello and welcome to the Executive Briefing Center in Reston, Virginia. My name is Richard Grace and with me today is Tony Intobartolo, our Principal Engineer. Sorry we can't be with you in person today, but through the use of the TANDBERG content server, we can join you virtually. For the next several moments, we wanted to talk to you about a new product here at TANDBERG, the T3 Telepresence system. We're going to break today's chat up into really three categories, talk about the physical characteristics of the room. Then Tony's going to walk us through the control system. And finally, we'll end up on the Telepresence server, which we think is one of the most important topics we'll discuss today. Traditionally, if you get a chance to come in and visit us, this is probably a good hour-plus meeting. Sit down. We're going to do this in just a few moments. So if you need more information at the end of this encounter today, please talk to your account manager or reach out to the Telepresence team. So let me start by talking a little bit about the system behind me, which is the T3 unit. And let's talk about what the basic package is. It includes the three T1 systems behind me. They are 65-inch LCD, and they're driven by our new incredibly powerful C90 1080p codec. So the three units behind me, also the table, the three touchscreen, 24-inch touchscreen units as well, and then a lighting package above us, which we'll show you and talk about in just a moment. That is the basic package. Now, many folks also want to enhance their room and make it a little bit more immersive. And to that, you see the nice brown wood paneling in this room, as well as the LED lit blue walls behind us, front and rear. And maybe take a second, Tony, let's just back out a little bit and show them that there are blue walls both front and rear of the room in here. So why have we done that? Well, one of the first reasons we wanted to do that was the participants in the room. We wanted to make sure that the environment was set for them and not just for the equipment. Certainly we wanted to make sure that the room was somewhat deadened and worked very well acoustically, but it was more important that the participants in the room would probably be in here for 3 to maybe 5 hours. So from that standpoint, we took a little more of a hardened approach on the acoustics, and we think it's worked out very well. It's a very comfortable room, and there's no doubt it is as cool as it looks. So hopefully you get a chance to be in one shortly. So that's a little bit about the actual immersive package. I did say we'd talk a little bit about the lighting as well. Let me go up for just a second and show you front and rear of the room, how the lighting package works there. There we go. Our package for lighting is up top, and we do that on purpose. We want the lighting to be out of the eyes of the participants in the room. We know some of the competitors out there have their lighting around the unit, which sort of comes at you head on. We think a much more softened approach from overhead works quite well. So that's a little bit about the acoustics of the room, the lighting in the room, and what we refer to as the immersive package. With that, Tony, let me hand it over to you, and let's talk a little bit about the control system.
Okay, so T3 has three 24-inch touch panel screens. Normally, for a user to bring up this interface, they would just press this menu button here in the center that would bring up this. Keep in mind, T3 actually has 6 PC connection points, and that includes audio, video, network power, where you can plug in your laptop. If you hit the corresponding PC button, it would then be on this screen as well as that screen at the far end. But right now we're in the user interface mode, so the first thing I see here is kind of my favorites list, or the people I tend to call most often. There's also a keypad for manual dialing, as well as a keyboard, say you're doing URI dialing. And also the last area is a phone book. This would actually be populated by TMS. So this could be talking to your LDAP, your Active Directory, your H.350, your Exchange server, doesn't really matter. When the time comes and I'm getting ready to have a call, I could just take a location and drag it up to the top of the screen so I get a graphical representation of where everybody would be on the screen. I could also bring in some non-telepresence sites as well, or if I want to bring in a couple more telepresence sites, once again, just a drag and drop to where I would like them to be. And also, before I start the call, I can kind of decide where on the screen I want everybody to show up. So right before I start the call, once I've decided that that's where I want it to be, I initiate the call, either by hitting the green buttons or the start meeting buttons. Now, to disconnect the calls, I could just go ahead and hit these red buttons to disconnect them, but we find that what's been very popular is the ability to just take the site and flick them off the screen and just remove them off as quickly as we brought them in. So a nice, easy way to remove participants from your meeting.
So great, Tony. Thank you very much. That's a little bit about the control system there. So what we want to talk to you now a little bit about is the Telepresence server itself. Right now, we are in a live call to London, England. Let me go back while Tony's setting up this part of the call and talk a little bit again about the LED blue walls. You notice the participants would be seated at the far side, and my local blue wall with me behind me. What happens in the call as the participants are in the room there is your eyes tend to focus not only with the participants at the far side, but they play off our blue wall locally, which allows you to sort of get the feeling of some spatial capabilities taking place. In a really long-winded way of saying, they tend to look very 3D to you. So that's another reason for the LED lit blue walls in the back. So Tony, with that, let's talk a little bit about the Telepresence server and what you brought up on the screen here.
All right, so one thing that we kind of noticed was a little bit of limitation of Telepresence multi-site in the industry was that everybody was doing screen flipping. And what I mean by that is nobody ever showed up on the screen unless they spoke. It's a little counterproductive from a visual communication standpoint, saying that if you don't talk, you're not being seen. So with the Telepresence server, we've kind of stepped up the capabilities in Telepresence multi-site. And by that I mean, so I do have these 6 seats of London up, and they may be the featured speaker, but what you also can see here is we've embedded all 6 seats of another T3 unit down there, or an Xperia unit. So everybody's always in eye contact with me, so I can read those visual cues. Are they really paying attention? Do they really comprehend what I'm saying? And the other thing you'll see is we've also embedded a couple non-Telepresence sites down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Melissa to just talk to us for a couple of seconds.
And while we're doing that, Tony, real quick, the bottom line is what we've actually done, folks, is you can then, therefore, see all participants in the meeting at all times. Okay? It's the only one in the world that is doing this at the moment. So with that, go ahead and let's speak from the other side, ladies, and we'll bring up and show you the non-Telepresence sites.
Sure. Well, I'm Jennifer Kerr. I'm in the Reston EBC, working at my desk, and as I speak to you for a few minutes, you should see our full picture elevate to this full-size screen.
Great, so that's perfect, Jennifer. So what we have now, folks, is we've taken the unit from not just a Telepresence system, but put it what I sort of refer sometimes jokingly as our command and control view. And the Jennifer's on a 6000, Melissa is down in Dallas on a 1700, and just for fun, we brought in our T1 system out in the lobby of the Executive Briefing Center, but it happens to have a direct TV connection up to CNN at the moment. So for those folks that want to use T3 but don't necessarily want to use it in a full telepresence to telepresence mode, we can also dial out to traditional standards-based systems as well and see them in a very immersive environment. Tony, any other thoughts there?
And keep in mind, we still haven't lost any of the Telepresence sites. So we still have our Oslo T3 in there as well as that one in London. So we still have full visual communications with everybody involved in the call with no loss because people aren't speaking. So this makes this a very powerful tool, and there's also going to be a second part to this TCS where we're going to show you what the other side's seeing, even if they're not on a Telepresence unit.
So we'll, in a moment, yeah, you'll be able to do that in just a second and see what Jennifer and Melissa are viewing from us in our T3 room, the other T3 rooms, and themselves participating as well. So look for that as well. With that, Tony, last thought, transcoding taking place?
Right.
Here?
So keep in mind the Telepresence server is based on the proven coding technology, and what that means is every single port has a full transcode. And kind of in layman's terms, what that means is it doesn't matter what speed, what resolution you come in, you will get the best resolution you can handle without affecting anybody else. So keep in mind, this could have been a mock client, this could have been Mobi, this could have been a non-high definition competitor's product. Not only will the Codian not degrade the rest of the people in the call, it'll actually do something called clear vision, where it can actually take a standards-based endpoint and it's increased its resolution by about a factor of 4 in real time. So, you know, pretty much the most versatile and powerful MCU in the market, and now really kind of showing its girth here in the telepresence space.
Very good. And with that, those are some of the points we wanted to take a little bit of time and talk to you about today. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. And for all of us here at the EBC locally, as well as Melissa in Dallas, thank you very much for your time. If you need more information, again, we suggest you get a hold of your account manager or someone from the Telepresence team here at TANDBERG. Thank you, and have a good day.